Welcome back to my channel, Famous and Fabulous. He may be familiar to us as the New York Police. Frank Reagan, Commissioner, but American Tom Selleck, an actor, has a distinguished career prior to receiving the function of the father of the Reagan family. In the 1980s, Tom Selleck rose to fame for playing Thomas Magnum in the television show Magnum P.I., which brought him several distinguished awards throughout its run, as recognizable as his function as the "Did You" Hawaiian shirt-wearing detective. Be aware that there are two more legendary roles, which the performer would have played. Additionally, have you heard the actor had to say regarding the conclusion of Blue Blood in spite of its prosperous run? If you're interested in learning more about the performer and the responses to these inquiries, then you'd better keep watching to find out more. Prior to answering the important question, let's first examine how it all started. Thomas William Selleck was the actor's birth name. In Detroit on January 29th, 194-45 Michigan, to his parents, Martha, and his mother, Robert Dean Selleck, was a housewife, whilst his dad was an Selleck, an elite real estate investor. Has Robert, an older brother, and a younger Martha, the sister, and a younger Daniel, a brother, even though the actor was born in the beautiful state of Michigan, relocated 3 years later, in 1946, to California's Sherman Oaks, where he grew up. As the actor of the future went to Grant High School, and after graduating, decided to move away from home and save by signing up at Los Angeles Valley College. Selleck was already 6 feet 4 inches tall. Icon, while he was a teenager, sketching. Taking care of himself, he stated, chose to take advantage of it by moving to and participating in the Southern California University's men's basketball team Troyan during his junior year. But there are other options. Tom Selleck seemed like a really sporty man to us. When he was younger, as a result of, in addition to playing basketball, he served as not only the pitcher, but the assigned bat for the baseball team at the university team. He was a very versatile individual, given that he was a member of the fraternity Sigma Chi and a Trojan member Knights. In spite of all these, Selleck didn't participate in extracurricular activities, cultivate a unique affinity for them, not until his drama instructor recommended that he attempt acting. At the moment, Tom Selleck was chasing a business administration degree from the university. Nonetheless, he abandoned it while to pursue acting in his final year full-time. Selleck chose to sign up at their Noun Playhouse in Beverly Hills and was supervised by a Greek director. And while there, producer Milton Katzeler acquired the skills necessary for acting, polishing his abilities that turned out to be beneficial later. He would have proceeded to make a breakthrough in the performing arts, but when he got a draft, he had to stop. During the Vietnam War, notification was similar to every Tom Selleck, an American, took the call and enlisted in the Coast Guard, where he served in the infantry regiment of the 160th 6 years from 1967 to 1973. During his final 2 years of duty, Tom Selleck had already begun to explore in the acting business. He received a number of minor assignments at the start of his profession, and his initial appearance on television was The Dating, an American game show, in 1965. I played as a senior in college, and 1967. After that, he got a few. He even did modeling and commercial work, become a Pepsi Cola model at one point. Note that this was not his final assignment as a model, as Tom Selleck also emerged as the Salem cigarette's visage, and when Revlon's Colog first appeared, that the actor was in high demand. Something that isn't particularly shocking, considering how captivating he was, that the actor continued to take on other roles like the 1971 one in which he made an appearance in a Right Guard deodorant commercial, then a performance with Farrah Fawcett for a duet in 1972. He was also involved in a Safeguard deodorant soap commercial, and he recommended the toothpaste in 1977. Examine each of these early ads in detail, paved the path for his future. Tom Selleck's movie debut was a hit in Myra Breen Ridge's American Comedy, where he received an invitation to the set by the Mae West, a complex icon, then performed a number of minor parts in other films, such as the 1971 picture The 7 Minutes. A regular function as a personal investigator for Files in the Rock, The American Mystery, and the 1970s. Return of the Thriller Coma, in 1978, saw him play the lead in the horror movie Daughters of Satan, 1972, whereby he portrayed the American James Robertson Tom Selleck. Curator of the museum had his fair share of playing the role of cowboy. Roles that were naturally assigned to him, how he loved being an outdoor marksman, as collector of weapons. He participated in 5 Western movies, specifically The Sackett's Cowboys, In Concrete, The Shadow Riders Down, Under, Quigley, and Final Stand at Sabre River, where his performance took first place. He received the Western Heritage Award in between playing extra and small conversation in 1997 roles up to Tom Selleck's leading role. Has amassed a remarkable resume for performing, but it wasn't until he was cast as Thomas Magnum, which he became well known after defeating Theods, and was selected to play the role of the main part of the series immediately following. 6 other TV pilots were filmed while sitting on the shelf. Selleck is winning this major contract. Demonstrates that everything is intended, because you won't be missed if you have no idea who Thomas Magnum was. A regular detective who was once a Navy SEAL who fought in Vietnam, and cast it set everything aside and exchanged it for a Hawaiian, a Ferrari 308 GTS, to embrace and assert his experiences working as a private investigator before. His military is no longer in sunny paradise. Clothes, but his keen intellect stayed to utilizing it in conjunction with the military strategies to investigate crimes while wearing his distinctive mustache, and the Detroit Tigers Magnum PI's cap had a quite successful run for 8 years, and by the time the show completed in 1988, it has already received praise. As one of the most popular one-hour programs in rerun history, which demonstrates its continued appeal years later, Tom, according to Selleck, if he had his way, Magnum's movie would have gained meaning exactly where the series left off. The Navy would have been Magnum's next stop. To develop into a competent officer, this was prior to the Magnum PI reboot, and according to Selleck, he has been anticipating whether are there any producers who would like to. While creating a Magnum film, he recalled that none of them contacted or called him expressing dissatisfaction because he was delighted to assist them. I assume they would recast him with that, and he would be a teenager of 17 years old. Younger generation, yet a good film shouldn't be our union performance in which everyone observes how it should give you an idea of how old everyone is. Selleck stated at the time what had transpired. In addition to playing Thomas Magnum, there was another part for Frank Reagan. Tom Selleck was notable for his portrayal of the part of the charming Richard Burke, but Monica's complex older lover in Friends, the popular comedy of the 1990s, during its season 2 of the shows, the character was an ophthalmologist who was divorced. And Monica's parents' friend, emphasizing the difference in age between the two, but continuing to emphasize how they have an unbreakable bond, and are dynamic due to the fact that Gap Richard and Monica concealed their friendship. However, in the end, they didn't together due to his hesitation regarding having kids, which had a long-lasting, thought he was only there for 6 episodes, and Tom Selleck's representatives suggested opposing his participation in the sitcom. But it became better. As a result of the actor was nominated for an Emmy for Excellent Comedy Guest Star Series in the year 2000 for his performance, as Richard just demonstrated that he's an adaptable performer who could portray any genre, such as comedy or action drama, and he portrayed Jesse Stone in 2005, a lawman with a transplant in a series created for television based on the books authored by Robert B. Parker's 9-year series Places, where he performed in addition to the primary role, but additionally functioned as it's in its 5th installment, Producer Jesse. The actor displayed his stone-thin ice writing abilities, creating a unique style that the audience found appealing. He made a triumphant comeback to television in 2007, Drama. After he became a member of the NBC, the 5th season of the drama Las Vegas assumed the part of the new A.J. Cooper, proprietor of Montecito Casino, which additionally marked his first role in a regular drama. Ever since he played Thomas Magnum, the actor's performance was just as outstanding as always, and he was able to do it with ease. Bridge the Gap, created by James Carr, who left the performance in the same as dashing as he looks in this episode. It's not astonishment that Tom Selleck was the heartthrob in his heyday, yet he's still charming in his senior years. Years later, the dashing actor said, married in 1971 with a similarly lovely woman on his side. Former Jack and Ray, an American model and actress, was the first wedding of Selleck, and at the he also adopted her son, Kevin Tonic, at that time, who later became the drummer for the actors. Tonic is an American rock band. His first wife and he were married for a good 11 years prior to their departure. Distinct methods in 1982 passed quickly for Tom Selleck to rediscover love. Thus he discovered himself standing before the altar, waiting for his Jilly Joan Mack. The second wife came down the aisle on 7th August 1987. They have a daughter together named born on December 16th. Hannah, what else can we learn about 1988? You ask the actor several questions, and you be taken aback by the enormous list of his thoughts as well as his interests on the conclusion of his popular television show, Blue Bloods. Tom Selleck is a multifaceted individual. Interests, as demonstrated, even in his. During his early undergraduate years, he was a part baseball and basketball teams, and as we have stated, he is an enthusiastic outdoorsman who enjoys a variety of sports, beach volleyball and indoor volleyball, and he even served as the hitting batsman for Honolulu's Outrigger Canoe Club. He was so important that Dennis Berg, when he was a member of his team, still going strong and couldn't stop gush regarding him in an interview with USA Volleyball is Back. Berg claims that in 2011, the actor was a fantastic teammate despite their busy schedules. Magnum P.I. was being filmed at the time. Berg noted that Selleck valued being a part of an exceptionally gifted group, which is why he played hard and practiced diligently. Furthermore, Tom Selleck was also patient while everyone had fun with the enormous attendance at national competitions. This contrasts sharply with the actor's customary smaller gatherings that include family, friends, and another sport that he enjoys playing ice hockey a lot, games when the opportunity arises, and is frequently observed in Los Angeles Staples Center's Kings games. In playing baseball in downtown Los Angeles wasn't sufficient for him to return to college. So, when with the money, he purchased and became a minority owner of his preferred team. As a child, the Detroit Tigers have been. It was helpful to have a minority owner when Tom Selleck appeared in the 1992 motion picture. To prepare for the part, Mr. Baseball contacted the group and obtained the opportunity to work out with them in the spring. The actor threw himself into his training, the position, and worked for 3 weeks, taking part in batting drills and despite appearing in an exhibition during the game against the Cincinnati Reds game with the Detroit Tigers manager at the time. Sparky Anderson stunned everyone by choice and referred to Selleck as their pinch hitter, despite the fact that he hit 3 pitches after fouling out. What he acquired that day was priceless. Encounter not only improved his acting in the movie, but it also gave him a more profound comprehension of Major League Baseball. This immersive training experience surely influenced his depiction of an experienced baseball. This American player in Mr. Baseball actor has already solidified his reputation as Frank Reagan and Thomas Magnum. However, did you know that Tom Selleck was also nearly depicted a legendary figure? If only Magnum P.I.'s creators permitted him to undertake additional tasks for those who are unaware, Tom Selleck was George Lucas's first choice. In fact, when he was given the opportunity to serve as the sardonic and clever adventurer Indiana. Ultimately, Jones was given the post. The rest was history, including Harrison Ford. However, both males at least became ionic. In their own lanes, the figure's one intriguing aspect of the entire experience was the shooting of Magnum P.I. delayed for more than half a year due to, when the writer strikes, had he assumed that he would have played the part of Indiana Jones, finished shooting by the time the show was going to fire. But that's just the way. Fortunately for Tom Selleck, life goes on. He was capable of assuming the part of Look at Thomas Magnum over 8 seasons, struck a bargain with Magnum, and it was the best thing I've ever experienced, Selleck acknowledged in a conversation with Rebuild the Series in 2017. I'm pleased to report that I fulfilled my contract, and some individuals stated that you have to enter a vehicle and collide into a brick wall, sustain injuries, and leave. I said, I have to do Raiders and Magnum. Examine my parents' eyes and we Magnum don't do that. I did, but it's not. Is it really so bad? Do you know what's even not more fascinating was Indiana Jones. Tom Selleck's sole famous role was provided, and if he had decided to portray, this figure would have altered his career's course outside from. The Tom Selleck, an adventurous Indiana Jones, was additionally offered Mitch's starring part, Banan, from the hit television show Baywatch. Nevertheless, the former avoided the claim that he didn't wish to be eventually viewed as a sex icon. David, in the end, Hasselhoff secured the position by, as everyone now knows, Tom Selleck is not simply a man who is committed to his work, he's additionally aware of his surroundings and everyone in his immediate vicinity. These his qualities didn't go with invisible, making him the beneficiary of several honors and commendations. For one, he was awarded an honorary PhD by in 2000 at Peppine University, and he also actively encouraged moral principles through his association with Edna and Joseph Tom Selleck of the Josephson Institute of Ethics, the recipient of other awards as well, like his own celebrity on the Hollywood 1986 Walk of Fame and the Golden American Academy of Medicine's Plate Award accomplishment in. Who would have guessed in 1989 that the actor portraying the Commissioner of Police in New York would genuinely encounter legal issues? Not us, but it wasn't done to hurt anyone. To others instead, it was due to water. Water issues, you heard correctly. It took place back in 2015, amid California's worst drought that was documented at the time of the KGI. The actor was sued by the municipal water district, claiming that he transferred more than 1.4-gallon water supply from there, the Hidden Valley district, though he did, to annoy his avocado farm. Not acknowledged misconduct. The case was agreed with a payment of $21,685.55 to the Calagus district, paying for their research expenses. At least there was nothing aggressive about it. We can't hold the man accountable for taking Tom Selleck maybe taking care of his own farm. Despite being elderly and graying, the actor still has, Frank needs some juice to keep him going. Reagan was actually the dude in Blue Bloods. Very likely could have carried on with the portrayal, this figure in the years to come. But unfortunately, everything has to end. The first segment is currently airing February and will undoubtedly conclude with a bang. But before he expressed his sincere admiration for the program and its supporters during the last 13 years, it has been a joy and an honor to work on a show that honors males, in addition to as well as women who serve and defend in New York City, but additionally exhibits the actor emphasized the value of family in a declaration at the conclusion of the series, was declared that they would be collaborating with these amazing actors, writers, and producers. It has been a dream come for the directors and team. Truth, and I'm appreciative of having been a member of this exceptional club for above. Thanks to CBS Studios, there are 275 episodes, CBS Network for their unwavering assistance, and we sincerely appreciate it. To the supporters that joined us for every Friday evening meal in an interview with Tom Selleck on TV, became open and revealed some of his observations on his greatest pride regarding the show that Selleck claims to take satisfaction in presenting a strong but flawed father in ads and on television. Typically, Dad is the moron who tells TV. My goal on the show is not to be an insider. However, the result is an illustration of an insignificant family patriarch, whose hearing him is becoming less common in our culture. We can't help but say this about Blue Bloods. But recall how, 13 years ago, he still was unable to comprehend portraying police commissioner with no nonsense in an interview with Entertainment for the Weekend in 2010. Selleck claimed to have discovered the task difficult, particularly when he had to play a considerably older character, in contrast to his previous role, as Magnum with one exception. His portrayal of Frank Reagan additional factor that he thinks played a part. The Reagan's contribution to the success is Tom Selleck claims that the weekly meal is their audience's favorite segment of the program. He was initially taken aback to discover that the entire dining scenario was made up of Leonard Goldberg's 8 pages when the executive producer of the show showed it to. He noticed that the actor's performance was lengthy, believed they would cut it, but to Goldberg, to his amazement, stated that the scene at supper would be he was the show's focal point and a man. Correct about that, even though you took on the Frank Reagan's role throughout the previous 13, Tom. Selleck is far from prepared to, he said, goodbye blue bloods. According to TV Insider, CBS will soon discover the true number of persons cherish blue bloods, and a large number of them are not prepared to bid the show go. Additionally, the actor thinks that Blue Bloods has never been more well-liked, and he firmly believes that the quantity of spectators will only keep watching grow, and more significantly, they still have more suggestions for the bag when questioned about